Welcome to the Green Hat Local SEO Podcast, where Kyle Sabra delivers hard-hitting, actionable tips and strategies to help business owners dominate their local market and crush the competition. Kyle's no-holds-barred approach cuts through the noise of traditional SEO, focusing on battle-tested tactics that deliver real results. He's here to arm you with the tools you need to skyrocket your rankings, generate more leads, and grow your business online. If you're tired of hearing the same old SEO nonsense and want to learn the truth, this is the podcast for you. Get ready to put on your green hats and learn SEO secrets the other guys can't handle. Now, here's your host, Kyle Sabra.
Hi, this is Kyle from Green Hat Local SEO, and in this episode, we are talking about indexing and myths, legends, and adventures surrounding it. So, indexing is one of those things that a lot of people really freak the fuck out over. Oh, my links aren't getting indexed. Oh, my citations aren't getting indexed and bullshit like this. Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is you don't really need to worry about indexing so much because Google is not going to index every single page out there. So I guess really what we should do is first start off with what is indexing even? Like, what does indexing mean? Well, indexing means that Google is going to take these web pages, whether they be pages on your site, citations, guest posts, PDF uploads, really whatever, images, all of that, and put it into its search engine for people to find it, for searchers to find it. And this used to be really easy. I used to have the service about 10 years ago where I would guarantee first page rankings in a day. And I was able to get things indexed on the first page. The quickest I ever got was 3 minutes. And it used to be really just that easy, but Google has really tightened things up over the past 5 years. And now it is exceedingly hard to get anything except for quote unquote high quality pages indexed unless you know what you're doing and unless you know why you are getting things indexed. So why has it gotten so much harder for Google to index things? One, there is a lot of shit out there now on Google. Everybody is using AI. Everybody is using the same 3 or 4 tools to write their stupid fucking pages, which all have the same sort of information and content on there. And if all the information is the same, then Google really has no reason to index new pages because they are not showing anything new, and Google already has this information. So why would Google even want this? I mean, on top of that, Google has budgets too. All this indexing, all this server space, all of that costs money, and they have budgets that they need to adhere to as well. So, how do you get things indexed? What happens if your pages or whatever aren't indexed? What does that mean? Well, for one, if it's a page on your site that you want indexed and cannot, then you fucked up somehow. 2, if it's a backlink or a citation, you don't necessarily need to get those indexed. And 3, indexing is just going to get harder and harder as time goes on. So you better make damn sure that whatever you put out there, if you want it indexed, it needs to be as high quality as possible. So let's start off with backlinks and citations and stuff. These don't necessarily need to be indexed. One secret out there, and something that a lot of shitty SEOs don't know, is that Google, even if they don't index something, they still have a record of it in what's called the link graph. So you don't necessarily need to have your citations, you don't necessarily need to have your backlinks indexed for them to work. One of the things that we use a lot here internally is a program called SEO Neo, and we use that for building backlinks and for building out PBNs and stuff. And I really don't give a shit if those properties are indexed or not because they're still pushing power. And I see this every single day with our clients' rankings, that with SEO Neo, these things are ranking better and faster than if we didn't do it, even if these links from SEO Neo aren't getting indexed. And the reason is because we don't necessarily, like I said, care if they're indexed, but we do get them crawled, right? So we use a crawling software called Colinkry that will actually call Googlebot over, so Googlebot can see the page and have a record of it. Now, this is different from getting it indexed, to where all Google needs to do is if they crawl the page and they see the link in there, then that link goes into their link graph and we get credit for it. Now, if we really wanted those indexed, we could use indexing programs, indexing software like Omega Indexer or something like that, or one of their strategies. But that is expensive. We don't want to waste credit on shitty pages like SEO Neo. Same thing goes for your citations. As long as Google knows those are out there, they don't necessarily need to be indexed. So your citations, you don't need to spend, 1 cent, 2 cent on, all of your citations. If you have 500 citations, it's $5 at a time. But this thing can add up, especially if you're adding in things like SEO Neo. So just get those crawled. What you can do is you can put those into a public Google sheet. Those get crawled really fast, and Google will crawl 8,000 rows down. You can use, like I said, something like Colinkry. You can put them into a Google Doc just to get them crawled. And really, that's all you need to do. Guest posts, niche edits, same thing. You don't necessarily need those indexed. You just need those crawled. Now, if you're trying to do something like reputation management, then yes, you would want that guest post index, and then that would behoove you to write high quality content. But if you just need the links, all you need to do is get those crawled with those strategies I just mentioned, using Colinkry or using something like a Google Sheet or something like Google Docs. Now, for your website, of course, you want those pages indexed. They're service pages. If they are blog posts, if they're maybe if they're a PDF upload that you're using as like a white paper or something like that. Now, if those aren't indexed, you have a problem there, because obviously you want those to show up in Google searches. So a few things that you need to check if you can't get these things indexed. One, make sure that they're indexable. Make sure there's nothing on the site that is preventing them from being indexed. Make sure you don't have any no index tags on there. Make sure you don't have X robots blocking crawling or indexing. Make sure you don't have Googlebot disallowed from crawling those pages. And if technically everything is fine, make sure the page speed is fast enough. If it's too slow, Google won't crawl and index something. It'll just fucking bounce because it gets pissed off at your shitty website. And also, if it's if there's too much JavaScript on there, like if the content is rendered with JavaScript, also Google probably won't see that either, and you should probably stop doing that, because nobody says that's ever a good idea to have your shit rendered with JavaScript, right? So if that's not the case, like if there's no technical problems why your content isn't being indexed, then you got to move into other things. So is your content even worthy of being indexed? Is it worth it? Like, did you just copy and paste stupid shit from ChatGPT, or did you actually put some effort into creating new and helpful content? Right? Even using something like Surfer or Page Optimizer Pro or Neuron Writer doesn't necessarily mean that your content is worthy of being indexed. It just means that you wrote to some program and you did whatever you needed to do to get a score of 100 on some software, right? Just means that you aced the test, but you didn't actually fucking learn anything, right? So if all you're doing is trying to write for Page Optimizer Pro scores or Neuron Writer scores or Surfer scores, it doesn't necessarily mean that your content is good. And I've seen this a lot where somebody's like, oh, we got 100 on Surfer, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but you just copy and pasted some stupid bullshit from ChatGPT and then added some keywords to make Surfer SEO happy. So you need to make sure that your information has something new and novel and something that readers can actually learn, rather than just the same regurgitated slop that everybody else is using and all the AI writers are putting out there, right? So if you don't know what this means, then an easy way to do this is to check out the headers on your page and check out the headers on everybody else on page one. If they're all the same, then you probably aren't adding in any new information. Don't even bother like, oh, well, I had these 3 headers, but everybody else had 5 headers, so I put in 5. Like, page length does not mean good content. A good way to see if you're adding in new content is you can go to page 2 of the search results for that keywords, specifically spots 11 through 16, and check and see what headers are on there that are not being mentioned on your page that would obviously be relevant to that topic. And then you can add those in there. Because typically on page 2, like 11 through 16, they got their on-page SEO done well. It's just they're missing one or two things that aren't getting them to page 1. Right? So that's a good way to find a content gap in the topic that is going to get you onto page 1. Another thing that you do that we do internally too is we'll actually go into Quora and Reddit and Facebook and see what people are talking about for this topic. Reddit's a really good place to do this. Quora, Facebook less so. But what you can do is you can use the Reddit API and see what people are talking about for these specific keywords in these specific subreddits, and then add that information onto your page, because I guarantee you none of these dickheads who are using ChatGPT or Claude to write their stuff are gathering information from Quora, because that's just not what, or from Reddit, because that's just not what they do. Quora tends to skew a little older, so I would go there after I used Reddit, and then Facebook I would use last if I couldn't find anything on Reddit or Quora, simply because of the types of people that are actually posting on there. Typically are not the most savvy, and honest to God, on Facebook are probably not the smartest people out there anyway. So use those to get new and novel information to your page, and that should help you get indexed. Now, if you still can't get indexed, even though that you know that you've written good quality content, you haven't just copy and pasted some stupid bullshit, you've added in what's called information gain, which is that new information that people are going to learn, then you need to go on to your site's quote-unquote authority. So check and see, like, do you have internal links going to that page? Do you have external links going to that page? Is your page a recognized authority on that topic, right? Is that within the main topic of the page? So obviously, if you are an HVAC tech and you write something about shingles, you probably aren't going to get that index very quick, because Google knows that's not in your core competency, right? So make sure that Google trusts your site for this topic, and you have internal and external links going to that page. Now, if you still can't get that page index, then what you need to do is go into Search Console and see what else might happen. You could see something like maybe there was a duplicate page for that page that was already published. Maybe you don't have the canonical set correctly, right? Maybe this was stolen by somebody else, a bigger site with more authority and published that and got that indexed before you could index yours, in which case your site would be duplicate content and would be fucked, which I've seen happen before. So these are things that you need to look at if you can't get your content indexed, right? Other things you can do too is you can put the links for these in like press releases. You can put them into YouTube videos. You can put them into GBP posts. All these things are very high authority and high trust properties that Google is going to look at when trying to decide whether or not to index your page. But again, this is all just for pages on your site. If you're worried about indexing your SEO Neo links, your guest posts, your niche edits, your citations, anything like that, don't fucking bother. Don't worry about it. Don't waste your time and effort and energy, because as long as they get crawled, either using the strategies I mentioned or by using something like co-linkry, then it is going to be in Google's link graph, and you will get credit for that information and for that link in there. Really, it's only a problem if you can't get pages on your own website indexed. And if you can't get pages on your own website indexed, you need to look at your technical problems, and you need to look at, is this page even high quality enough and worthy enough of being indexed? And unfortunately, I've seen a lot of times where people just do not care. They do not give a shit. And they just put any random slop on there and then bitch and moan and worry why they can't get stuff indexed. And that does not work with SEO in 2025 anymore. So again, my name is Kyle Sabran from Green Hat Local SEO. If you're still having problems with your SEO, contact us at ghls.io. If you want to learn more about what we do, join our testing group. We do this with Moon Hussein from Rank Advantage Phoenix. So contact us, ghls.io, or join our testing group. Again, my name is Kyle Sabran. I will talk to you later.